What's up, I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time, I know this rumor is a couple days old, but better late than never. A little birdie has told me, well, aka BleedingCool, that the Skybound series, aka the Energon Universe, not the Energon series from 2004, that's a different thing, but the Energon Universe is going to have a cartoon streaming series. Now, there's no real indication of where it's going to stream, if it's going to be on Paramount. I know there's a whole debacle on Hasbro versus Paramount, and the fact that they kind of had that little divorce, but I think that Paramount can still produce stuff with Hasbro. It's just a rights thing that's kind of messy, but they could still do stuff with Transformers and the branding. So this is going to tie in Transformers and G.I.Joe. So that sounds awesome, but I do have a couple of concerns. Now, when I heard that it's going to be a streaming series, I wasn't sure how I felt, because I feel like despite some of the quality dip on Earthspark, especially in season 2 and 3, I feel like that could have at least hit a bigger audience if it wasn't on Paramount Plus. I know it also premiered on Nickelodeon, but Paramount Plus was the big thing that I was promoting on. And I feel like with a lot of people, unless you're looking for something specific on Paramount Plus, you really don't care about Paramount Plus. Like, if you don't care about the Halo show, if you don't care about anything Transformers, you probably just don't care in general. Yeah, hopefully this does hit a bigger target audience, because this is probably going to be made more for adults. The bullet points say Robert Kirkman's Skybound is bringing Transformers and G.I.Joe together in a new animated streaming series. The show will be based on the hit Energon Universe comic books now published through Image Comics. Transformers and G.I.Joe comic rights moved to Skybound after Hasbro pulled from IDW Publishing. Announcement expected at San Diego Comic-Con, with the series promising shocking developments. Now, Transformers has been kind of at a dip. I've mentioned that before with new audience. And I think that kind of goes the same with G.I. Joe. It's kind of been a little quiet with new people. I'm not saying that there's not an audience. In fact, I know plenty of G.I. Joe fans. But when it comes to the newcomers, I'm not sure if kids really understand or know much about G.I. Joe. It just doesn't really hit, any target audience currently. So with the crossover to Transformers and G.I. Joe, at least you're kind of introducing one with the other. So I thought that was, pretty cool. It's going to be likely a dark series. And I'm hoping for good things, because every time they try to make a dark series like the Power of the Primes or the War for Cybertron series, it doesn't really end up working too well. Just something feels very off about either of the shows. So I'm hoping for better things when it comes to this. I know that Skybound has a lot of dark elements to it, but a lot of them are, like it said, shocking developments. And some things a lot of people seem to like Optimus using Megatron's arm, or Megatron using Laserbeak as his eyes because his eyes are completely out of his head. Different things, or Starscream being this tank form. I feel like there's a lot of interesting things you could do if you take inspiration from the Energon Universe. Now, it's not necessarily said that this is going to tie into the Energon Universe. It might just be based on it. Now, what I'm curious on is a couple of things. One, what does this say about the Transformers and G.I. Joe movie that they had said they were planning? Is this just like a stepping stone? They wanted to see if there's any interest in Transformers crossing over with G.I. Joe. So they're going to do this and then see how well it goes and then do a movie? Or are they just going to do this instead of the movie? And another thing I'm curious on is the toys. Are we actually going to have Transformers, Energon Universe, and G.I. Joe toys? Or is it just going to kind of reuse the assets that we already have? Like, let's take, for example, if Hound is a big character in the show and we've got a Studio Series 86 Hound, are they just gonna not produce a toy anyways, specifically on Energon Universe, because there's already a Generations Hound that you could just use? Or are we gonna have an Energon Universe line? I'm kind of hoping for an Energon Universe line that's not too kiddish, because I would love to see something like the Human Alliance toys from Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon, to where they had the little pilot guys and they had the bigger vehicles for the Transformers. Not too big like the current G.I. Joe and Transformers crossovers. I just don't like the scale of that in particular. So if they were able to bring that down to something that's closer to the regular Generations and then just downscale the humans, I think that would be really awesome to see. And that's kind of something that I was expecting when I heard that there was going to be a Transformers and G.I.Joe movie, which nowadays is up in the air because we're not sure if there's any interest nowadays, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, mainly I just wanted to talk about this. What do you guys think? It is a rumor at the current moment, so we can't necessarily say that this is 100% confirmed, but I am very curious to see, a little concerned, a little curious. It's a mixed bag. So with that, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.